Welcome to a closer look. It may be cold outside, but there's still a lot of work to be done in the yard and the garden. Joining me today to talk about some tips for us is Mike Andrewchek with Virginia Cooperative Extension. Welcome.
Thanks, Karen.
So what should we be doing in the February-March months with our yard?
Actually, there's a lot to do. It's time to start cleaning up everything. So, getting rid of some of those extra stems from your perennials and grasses, although you might want to leave a few because a lot of times the ladybugs and the beneficial insects camp out there over winter, and then they're right there ready to come out and help fight off those aphids and other bug species. But get rid of, can start cleaning those things up, start all of your pruning for the most part you want to do at this time of the year too, because you want to get that removed before they start growing. And so even if your camellia's in bloom, you might want to do some pruning before it starts to grow. Bring those flowers in and enjoy them. And shape your plants up nicely. Especially your roses, you want to start in February around Valentine's Day. Get those pruned back and shaped nicely so that they're ready to grow in March, or even they start pretty early. So cleaning up, pruning, starting some seeds, and we'll have a calendar of when to start different vegetable crops, whether it's inside or outside. So that's another thing to do. And then if you missed fertilizing your lawn in the fall for your cool season grass, your fescue, you could do a half application in early March, but you want to do it fairly early while the grass is still growing, and allow it to use up that fertilizer before the heat in the summer comes.
So is it really a little bit too cold to do that with the yard right now, or?
If you can tolerate the cold, you can go out and prune, that's fine. Again, most things you can do. The only thing I would avoid pruning right now are apples and pears, because there's a fire blight disease that's a bacterial, and it starts coming out. And if you have open wounds, it makes it easier for that disease to get into your plants.
I know this is the type of year a lot of people start pruning the crepe myrtles, or I think crepe murdering them, as you say.
And I've seen a lot of that already. But.
Right, which is something you've mentioned in the past about really you shouldn't do.
Right, it's not correct pruning in that, excuse me, that you're cutting it off randomly, and a lot of times the plants don't need to be done.
Right.
So when we're pruning, we're making educated cuts so that the plant can seal it off more easily. By doing crepe murder, you're cutting them off and stressing them out, so they have to create these new growth points, and that can lead to other problems. And right now we have crepe myrtle bark scale that's moved into our area. So if you have black stems on your crepe myrtle, then you've got that scale, and stress is going to allow that scale to develop more easily.
Right.
And so you're just kind of enhancing that problem.
So I bring, there's a few plants that I have, like a lime tree and my Christmas cactus that during the warm months I keep outside, but I bring them in as well as other plants when it's cold. What should I be doing, or should I be doing anything to those plants while they're in the house?
So when you brought those in from outside, you've reduced the amount of sunlight. You've probably changed the air humidity as well as the light quality within the home. So, and the temperature probably is reduced somewhat in the house. So the plants aren't in really active growth. Okay, so it's a good time to check them, see if they're pot bound, and if so, you could look at repotting at this time of the year. I wouldn't do any fertilizer until you're getting ready to move them out. Just before the new growth is when you want to start fertilizing. So if you start seeing the buds break, that's a good time to add any fertilizer.
Okay.
But repotting is a good thing. If you have orchids that you just finished flowering, cut those old stems off, and that's a good time to repot those too into new medium. So if you see the roots coming out of the pots, that's telling you, or the plant's telling you, that it's staying too wet and that material has broken down, and you want to change that out at that time, right after they bloom. Otherwise, you can affect their flowering for the next year.
So is it too soon to start planting for spring?
Oh, no, this is a great time. All the catalogs are coming out.
Right.
So you can start ordering plants or seeds and maybe even start seeds indoors too. So just don't get ahead of yourself too much, because like if you start,
you get excited, right?
Yeah,
I know I
it
do.
is.
I know I do.
So if you start your tomatoes now, they're going to be,
They're not
huge
gonna- yeah.
by the time, and unless you have enough room,
Right.
that's probably not a good time.
And we're not past that frost
Oh,
yet.
no,
so.
not for another couple months, yeah.
So talk about some events that are coming up we can look forward to.
So we have a couple of workshops, and I'll share that handout with you that the Master
Okay.
Gardeners are putting on through March. So rain barrel, different birdhouses or things like that you can come in and do some little
Right.
activities. We have a camellia show at the, it's not going to be at the Botanical Garden, it's actually going to be in Chesapeake. Off of Providence Road, or
Okay.
right in that Chesapeake, Virginia Beach area. So it's a new location where you can buy some plants, look at some wonderful blooms, because people come from North Carolina and South
Oh,
Carolina
nice.
to bring some of their favorite flowers. And that show is going to be on March the 12th.
Okay.
So, and you can contact us for the site.
For more
They haven't
information.
created the flyer yet for that. We have some help desks that I'll be putting on at the various libraries. It's usually going to be Tuesdays, so you might check your library, and I'll be rotating through all the libraries starting on March the 15th. On March the 16th, we do a regional, what we call Green Thumb program. So it's a series of 5 classes that are an hour and a half to 2 hours long. And they're going to be in Norfolk this year. It rotates around through the
Okay.
area, but it's a way if people want to learn the basics or some specialized class work with horticulture, they can attend 1 or all 5 classes. And it's kind of like Master Gardener Light. You
Okay.
don't have to do all of the 50 hours of studying and training, and you don't have to give back any extra volunteer hours. You can just attend the classes. So that starts March 16th.
So where can someone go to find out information about all of the upcoming events?
You can check our website. You can call us at 382-6348, which is our office number, and someone will direct you to that. We have things on our Facebook page, or with our Master Gardener Facebook page a lot of times too. So there's a lot of different venues.
And I know you always have the sale that comes up here at near City Hall as
Right,
well, so we can
and
find
that'll
out
be in
more
April.
Okay.
We're still working out some details
Okay.
because of some scheduling issues, but hopefully we'll have that date soon. But we're planning on a big in-person sale. We have lots of
Perfect.
new, unusual plants and
Okay.
regular plants too.
All right, well, thank you so much, Mike, for coming on and talking to us today. And I just want to mention as well that if you go to Chesapeake Television on YouTube, you're going to find a lot of tips,
Right.
garden tips. So thanks again.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Karen.
All right, thank you for watching this edition of A Closer Look, and we'll see you next time.